Did you know that you can get FOMO or fear of missing out in your romantic relationships? It can sometimes sound like, what if I should have dated around more before committing to my partner? Or what if there's someone better out there? Or what if those people over there are happier and I'm missing out on that kind of relationship? Not many people want to admit that they have FOMO in their relationships, but I think a lot of people do. And today we're going to talk about it. I'm Chelsea Horton. I'm a board certified dance movement therapist, a certified somatic practitioner, and I've been helping people feel secure in their loving relationships for the last 5 years. And from my work with hundreds of people, I have seen FOMO creep up in so many people's relationships. So I want to help you identify today if FOMO is impacting your relationship too. First, FOMO shows up in relationships as this persistent underlying doubt about your relationship. Am I settling? Am I with the right partner? Would I be happier with someone else? You have a really hard time feeling solid and secure in the choice and the commitment that you've made with your amazing loving partner. The other way that FOMO can sneak into a relationship is through comparison. You're looking at other couples, wondering if they're happier and if you're somehow missing, something that they have and why aren't you as happy as they look on social media? You might even compare your experience of being in a relationship to someone else who's single and they look like they're having so much fun and you wonder, "Oh my gosh, would I be happier if I was single versus in a relationship?" And finally, FOMO can show up as rumination, which is where you're just kind of spinning in your head and kind of thinking up of all these potential scenarios over and over and over. You might find yourself really fixating on certain aspects of your relationship, trying to measure if you're happy enough, trying to measure if you're in a good enough relationship, trying to constantly measure your level of satisfaction in any given moment. Or you might be coming up with hypothetical situations and going, "Ooh, would I be happier there?" You're literally trying to measure how you feel in an imaginary scenario. So if you experience FOMO in your relationship, you know all too well how distressing it is, especially if you're with someone that you really, really love and care about, and you want to feel secure and you want to feel committed and you don't want to be comparing and you don't want to be ruminating, but you just can't seem to stop. And you might be wondering, "Oh my gosh, are all of these fears of missing out, are they true? Am I actually missing something? Is my partner actually not good enough?" You're probably trying to figure out what this all means, why you are overthinking and fearing missing out in your relationship. So I want to talk about why FOMO might be showing up in your relationship, even if your relationship is loving and healthy and overall you feel really satisfied in your relationship. And when we look at this through the lens of psychology, it's actually fairly easy to explain why we experience FOMO in relationships. You ready? It's the fear of uncertainty. Here's the thing, missing out is unavoidable because we can't live multiple lives at the same time. We can't simultaneously be single and in a relationship. We can't simultaneously be with that person and that person and that person and that person if you want to be in a committed monogamous relationship. So no matter what choice we make in life, we're missing out on something. And that something, that other person, that other path becomes an unknown, an uncertainty. And the brain hates that. It's this unexplored what if that the mind is trying to answer. The other reason why you may be experiencing FOMO in your healthy relationship is a lack of self-trust. When we don't trust ourselves, we struggle to trust our choices, especially something as big and important as a relationship. And a lack of self-trust can be rooted in so many different things, but the reality is most of us aren't taught how to trust ourselves. We're taught to look outside of ourselves, to trust other people's choices and opinions. We're taught to put other people's perspectives above our own. So no wonder why so many people have such a hard time trusting themselves. And being able to have self-trust is essential in being able to feel solid in our choices, even when the inevitable doubts and uncertainties arise. The other reason why you might be experiencing FOMO in your relationship is the grass is greener syndrome. You've probably heard the phrase before, the grass is always greener on the other side. When we buy into this mentality and we buy into the belief that the other choice, the other option, the other path we didn't take is always better, we're going to be experiencing FOMO in our relationships. If you believe that other people have it better, then you're going to be in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction in your own relationship. You might struggle to fully commit to and embrace the amazing person right in front of you because your brain is fixating on all of the other things that you don't have, assuming that all of those other things are somehow better. When you can slowly begin to release this grass is always greener mentality, you can start to be so deeply present in your relationship. You're so busy tending to and cultivating your own garden that you don't even think to look at other people's lawns. The other reason why you might be experiencing FOMO in your relationship is something called the paradox of choice. This is a term coined by psychologist Barry Schwartz, and this refers to the sense of indecision and decision paralysis and overanalysis that we experience when we're presented with way too many options. I don't know if y'all have ever been to the Cheesecake Factory, but when I open that Cheesecake Factory menu and I see the pages and pages and pages, I feel like it is so hard for me to choose what I want to eat. And I'm like, well, I kind of want this, but what if that's better? And what if I choose this? And what if that one is better? And then I don't like with the meal that I have. And in our ultra modern world that we live in, we are presented with endless dating options through dating apps, through the abundance of relationships that we see on social media. It makes it seem like we have pages and pages and pages and pages of options that are right in front of us. And the more choices that we are presented with, the more likely we might experience the fear of making the wrong choice. And the final reason why you might be experiencing FOMO in your relationship that I want to talk about today is that something deeper is being triggered and activated. While all humans on some level have a fear of uncertainty, your own core fears might be getting really poked at in your relationship, causing this fear of missing out. For example, if you were raised by parents who had a really unhealthy relationship, you might have a fear of settling and thus experiencing an unhealthy relationship. Your core fear would be re-experiencing the past pain that you watched your parents experience. As a protective mechanism, your mind might be scanning all of your choices to make sure that you are making one that won't lead to pain or harm. I know what it's like to experience FOMO in my relationship. It absolutely sucks. And I want to say that it is possible to overcome this fear and feel so happy, feel so grateful, and so present in the relationship that you're in. And I want you to feel that sense of security in your choice to be with your partner too. If you are in a loving, supportive relationship with someone who truly cares about you and you can't stop thinking of all the reasons why it might not be good enough, then I have a free resource that might be really, really helpful to you. It's called The 5 Keys to Feeling Rock Solid in Your Relationship. This free resource is going to help you understand on a deeper level why you currently don't feel solid in your loving, supportive relationship and what shifts need to happen in order to create that feeling of security that you want to have. You can find that free resource and other resources below. If you want to learn more about how to feel solid and secure in your loving relationship and cultivate the healthiest relationship you've ever experienced, make sure you hit subscribe. And if you learned something in today's video, hit the like button to let us know that you want more content like this. Thanks so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon.